Good morning, one. For those of you who it's now afternoon, good afternoon to you as well. Let me mute the computer here so that I'm not echoing on myself. And we'll get started. All right. Hello, hello. For those of you new here, my name is Reverend Deborah. I am a movement facilitator, movement in breath, body, and being, and the owner of movewithchange.com. Move on over at movewithchange.com. We are building an online community we call our Kaya Sangha. Kaya spelled Caya stands for come as you are, because honestly, your authentic self is the purest expression of you. Your authentic self is the purest expression of your intention. It's a divine expression of who you are, and ultimately the state of being that we're all trying to cultivate, right? We're all trying to align ourselves a little bit more with our authentic selves, with who we truly want to be and how we want our lives to be. Kitty cat, what are you doing? Okay, there we go. Maybe cat needs a hammock. Sorry. Hi, Kiki. Um, so yeah, we've got our Kaya Sangha. We're cultivating a Sangha over there. And over in the Sangha, we do twice weekly group coaching, which reminds me, after Bhakti Bites, if you are a member of Kaya Sangha, we will be having our group coaching at 11 o'clock Pacific time after Bhakti Bites. Don't let me forget. For those of you who are still here around 11, please remind me if I'm cutting it close. I get swept away sometimes. Swept away sometimes in the meditation and the mudras. Hey Gigi, good morning. Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, everybody. We're just getting started here, chit-chatting away about the Kaya Sangha and about group coaching after Bhakti Bites. And for those of you who were here on Monday, you'll remember that our mudra for the week is the Dhyana mudra. Now, this Dhyana, Dhyana mudra, is known as the meditation mudra. Hello. Is known as the meditation mudra, is known as one of the foundational practices for seekers of meditation, seekers of mindfulness. Dog, you're going to have to lay down. This is the upside down flip thing is not going to work today. Come here, come here, come here. Lay down, lay down. Sir. Lay down. Thank you. Okay. So our mudra this week has been the Dhyana mudra. The Dhyana mudra is done like so, placing one hand in the other. Ajna, you're gonna have to go outside. Lay down. Okay, placing one hand in the other. Now, traditionally, this is done by placing your right hand into your left. And if we think about the representation of this right and left, the masculine, feminine, yin and yang energy, or yin, yeah. So decide what's right for you. Feel free to try this in the traditional sense where you put your right hand into your left, but feel free to try it in the opposite way, where your left hand is in your right, and see if you get a different feeling by meditating with one or the other. So to complete the mudra, you place one hand in the other, palms both facing up, and then you bring the tips of your thumbs together. Now remember, this is not the pads of your thumb. You're not trying to create a little triangle sort of deal, teardrop in there. You want to actually lower them down to the tips of your thumb. And the pressure here, remember, is no more than the weight of a nickel, or as if you are holding a small piece of paper very lightly. In fact, a lot of the power of this meditation comes from this practice of keeping that gentle pressure here without letting the thumbs fall together and push into each other, or without letting them drift apart. Sometimes in meditation, when our consciousness fades off somewhere else, goes wandering away, we might look back down and realize that we've lost the mudra. So part of this practice is the simplicity of being with such a basic, easy to do mudra. Okay, my friends, thank you for the follow. All right, so this is the Dhyana Mudra, and the Dhyana Mudra again is a foundational mudra for meditation. It's suggested to practice this 20 minutes a day if you are like a beginning seeker, right? 20 minutes. I always say if you can get 5 minutes in, that's pretty freaking great. If you can get 5 minutes a day in your meditation, then you're doing great, and we can build from there, right? So, but traditionally it's suggested 20 minutes a day, or if you're more serious in your seeking, it's suggested to 1 to 2 hours to do this meditate or do this mudra per day. Now, this mudra is known to, it balances both sides of the body. It centers the mind, calms the mind. It's considered to bring the practitioner back to their original nature by way of relieving attachment and striving. Mi hijo, Elilan, quiet, please. It's hard for me to think while I'm, okay. Sorry, guys. Busy house this morning. So, this mudra does a lot to relieve attachment and striving. So when we sit with this mudra and meditation, we don't choose a meditation that's complex. We don't choose a meditation that asks us to do a lot of things. If we choose any sort of focal point at all, it's typically going to be something very simple, like focusing on the open space in this mudra, or again, focusing, thank you guys for the likes, or focusing on, again, that connection point of your thumbs. These are really simple places to rest your awareness. And again, this is not striving. This is not pushing. This is not like a hard focus or anything like that. It is a gentle resting of your awareness on this mudra, on the open space in the mudra, on the point where the fingertips touch. If you find yourself wandering away from this mudra, if your mind is really busy this morning, and just focusing on this open space or the touch, the point of touch between your thumbs is not quite enough, remember that you can always come back to the breath. Coming back to the breath is one of the most powerful centering practices. The breath is constantly moving, an ebb and a flow. And for those of us who have a busy body and busy mind, choosing to focus on something that has movement can really assist in coming back down to finding that silent place, finding that centered place. And remember, one last thing before we get started, meditation is a personal practice. The more that you sit with it, the more it will resonate within you. And when we meditate, we let go of our expectation of what that meditation, thank you, Byron, what that meditation should look like, right? When we put an expectation on it and say, oh, it's supposed to be like this, I'm supposed to be completely silent, completely still, not distracted. And if I don't do that, then I'm doing it wrong. Then, my friend, you're missing the point of meditation. The point of meditation is not to achieve a certain goal. The point of meditation is to be present with the here and now. And that's it. Yes, there are different types of meditations. Yes, we can do all kinds of fancy things in meditations. And yes, we will do some of those meditations here. But the whole practice of the Dhyana Mudra is to focus on the foundation of meditation, which is not perfection, which is simply the practice, right? The practice makes progress. And without striving, the practice makes progress. Carter, am I wearing quartz? Not around my neck. This is a magnifying glass. I've found a really cool way to not wear glasses, but still be able to read things that my eyes can't quite see. It's a magnifying glass. My crone mother made this for me. So close enough. Yeah. I do have quartz in my ears though. So, okay. So I invite you to release your expectations today. I invite you to release guilt or shame or negative self-talk. I invite you to release any idea of perfection and to enjoy this practice for what it is, for a simple opportunity to be in the here and now, to be present with yourself, what's happening within, as well as what's happening around you, without the need to attach any stories, to change anything, to judge anything at all, right? And I know that that's in and of itself is a practice, which is why we come back to the focus. So we're going to sit with the Dhyana Mudra. Again, the Dhyana Mudra is done by placing one hand in the other, your choice, which one you put on top, and then bring the tips of the thumbs gently together, no more than the weight of a nickel. And rest the mudra in your lap. Now, if you're sitting like I am here, you can just rest it in your lap and it stays pretty well. If you're in a chair and your thighs have that kind of slope to them, sometimes this can be a little uncomfortable and it starts to kind of fall forward. If you're doing that, feel free to put a sweater or a hat or something or a towel or a little pillow in front of your hands to keep them there. Whatever works for is comfortable for you, but this is ideally done upright. It's not the best for laying down just because of how the mudra ends up resting on your body and you lose the mudra. So ideally, let's do this one upright, and it won't be long, I promise. We'll just do brief meditations. So go ahead and grab your mudra. Once you've got your Dhyana Mudra resting gently in your lap, go ahead and close your eyes, and we will begin with 3 deep breaths to fully arrive for our practice. Seal the lips. Inhale through the nose, pulling the breath through the lungs and into the belly. And let it go. Inhale once more, lifting the heart and elongating the spine. And side out. Inhale once more, expanding the rib cage in all directions, front, sides, and back. And release. I invite you to release the breath. And just let your body find its natural rhythm. No need to change your rhythm. No need to slow it down or speed it up. No need to focus on the breath at all. In fact, I invite you to send your attention as far away from where you are as you possibly can. Reach your hearing, reach your awareness as far out as you can. What sounds can you perceive as far away as possible? Maybe you've got headphones on, so those sounds don't seem very, very far. Or maybe you listen into the silence within your headphones. If you don't have headphones on, maybe you can hear something from outside the building, maybe down the street, a siren in the distance, the caw of a crow. Take a moment and listen for the furthest away sound that you can perceive. Listening. All of your attention, all of your awareness on the furthest away sound that you can perceive. Now release that sound and bring your hearing in, bring your awareness in a little bit closer. Maybe just outside the building you're in or just outside the room that you're in. Focus your awareness, all of your attention, listening for the sounds outside of the room that you're in. Maybe there's people talking in the hallway, cars going by outside, your neighbor's dog barking again, the kids playing upstairs. Just listen. And then release those sounds and bring your awareness into the sounds in the room immediately around you. Just the sounds immediately around you. All of your attention, all of your awareness on the sounds immediately around you. Now release the sounds immediately around you and shift your awareness to the sound of your breath. No need to change anything, even if your breath is nearly impossible to hear. Listen. Listen for each inhale and each exhale. Follow the breath. All of your attention, all of your awareness on the sound of your breath, following the inhale all the way to the top and the exhale all the way to the bottom. Take a moment, allowing the breath to lengthen, to extend underneath your gentle resting awareness. Follow the sound of your breath all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom. Inhaling your intention to follow the breath and exhaling to release tension in the body, in the mind. Now release the breath and shift your awareness to your heartbeat. All of your awareness, all of your focus, resting gently on your heartbeat. See if you can hear your heartbeat. If your mind monkeys are exceptionally busy today or attempting to distract you, or if there are other things in this world that are pulling your attention away, I invite you to simply return to the sound of your heartbeat. Anytime you notice your attention being pulled away, gently, lovingly, just return that inner gaze to your heartbeat, listening for the steady rhythm of your heartbeat. Listening to the steady rhythm of your heartbeat. Now you can remain with your awareness here on your heartbeat. You can return your awareness to your breath. Or if it's available to you, I invite you to simply release your awareness. It's okay if that awareness is sticky. It's okay if I say, release the awareness and you go, what? How? What? It's okay. Either rest your awareness on your breath or your heartbeat or the emptiness in this mudra, or simply release your awareness if it is available to you. Allowing the shape of this mudra to create expansiveness within. Simply by holding this mudra, we are expanding our inner landscape. Allow the mudra to work its magic and simply be. If any interesting thoughts, sensations, or visuals arise, do your best to simply return your attention to your breath or your heartbeat or the mudra without needing to tell a story, without needing to judge. Sometimes we get these amazing, thrilling things that happen during meditation and we want to attach to them and tell stories about them and talk about them and focus on them. But again, they are pulling us off our practice. We can look at them later. They will still be available. For now, simply rest your awareness on your breath, on your heartbeat, on this mudra, or release awareness entirely. Whatever is most available to you. We are not pushing or fighting. We are not striving, and we are not attached to any certain outcome, any particular type of experience. And every time you find your mind has wandered off, you bring it back to your practice, either focused awareness or releasing awareness. Now this one can get really juicy, so I encourage you to stay here in this lovely, soothing little cocoon as long as you would like to. When you feel complete, I invite you to bring your hands together in prayer or simply lay one over the other over your heart in gratitude for today's practice, in gratitude for this mudra, for this tool that allows us to bring ourselves back to center, to connect with our original nature, simply in a moment of sitting, to invite that expansiveness within our minds and hearts. Offer a little gratitude to yourself for taking the time for self-care today. I'm so proud of you. And thank you so much for being with me today. I appreciate you all so very much. When you are ready to come out of meditation, please do so slowly. Offer yourself some wiggles and some stretches. And if it works for you, I like to rub my palms together, warm them up, and place them over my eyes to open my eyes beneath them. It helps with the transition a little bit. There's a reason that is a foundational mudra, right? You were so focused, but you still don't know what it is. What is? What is the it? Thank you for the follow, friend. The young lad. Yeah, I don't know either. I know I heard the classic thing in the background happen, the TV thing, and I was like, I bet you most of us heard that familiar sound and it pulled our attention away, right? But here's the thing. Here's the thing I love about this practice is that we often think, especially of meditation, and I say this as a collective we, because I also felt like meditation was like that. I could not meditate because other shit was going on, because I didn't have a quiet room, because there was distractions, because something else, right? There was always a reason or excuse not to meditate. And one of the biggest ones was that it wasn't quiet enough for me to meditate, which is the antithesis of of the goal. If there's a goal of meditation, one of the many goals of meditation is to be able to exist in that centered place without being pulled off center, right? Regardless of what our distractions are. So it's one of my favorite practices is to pull these mindfulness techniques out when I'm somewhere that is busier, or especially, right? We can sit every morning and meditate for 10 minutes. And it's a great fun practice, right? Every morning we sit down, we meditate for 10 minutes. But it's the morning that you struggle to get up. It's the morning that you don't want to meditate. It's the morning that you feel furious with whomever and you feel like it's impossible to meditate. that is when we need meditation. That is when meditation becomes more than just a playful practice and starts to become something that we use as a tool for rebalancing ourselves. And that ultimately, yes, these things are fun to sit in meditation. It's fun to be like, ooh, I get to be a yogi. I'm going to sit in silence for a little bit. Yay. This is fun. This is cool. But it's when we need the tools that we are most grateful that we have them, right? And that's why this practice is so good. When we practice regularly, then we have those tools. And then in those moments where we were really struggling with them, we're like, oh shit, now I'm going to really use that. Now I'm going to really use that. Hold on. Waffle, waffle. I just go swimming to meditate. I love it. Swimming is a great meditation. And that's the thing too, is that, yeah, and you get exercise at the same time. That's the thing too, is there's not one type of meditation. Please don't let anybody tell you that you are meditating incorrectly. If the practice that you are doing is bringing you to a place of centeredness, gives you a sense of feeling in flow or relieving pressure from the mind and the body, if it's something that clears your head and otherwise isn't toxic to you, then congratulations. You're accomplishing what meditation is, right? Mindfulness is. I'm sorry, friend. I think you were here yesterday too. I don't speak French. If you can translate, I'm happy to chat with you, but I just don't. I apologize. All I know is parlez-vous français? Oui, oui. But then, it's like saying, do you speak French? Yes, but I don't. So, een klein beetje, ik praat maar een klein beetje Nederlands, but not French. Sorry. Ooh. Hey, Reggie, I'm well. Billy, clean out the basement meditation today. Cleaning meditations are some of my favorite because I love the analogy. I love the analogy. I use them when I feel most cluttered, when my brain feels most cluttered. And the thing is too, is recognizing that different types of meditation work for different things. Somebody just a few moments ago, I'm sorry, I missed your comment there, but you were saying racing thoughts are your distraction. And that is a really big thing. It's one thing to have distractions outside of us and to be able to put down the distractions outside. But when we close our eyes and then the distractions are even louder within, it's why I went into mindfulness. It's why I started practicing meditation, because I was also doing the same stuff. I was also plagued by a cacophony of thoughts, fears, worries, distractions that were happening within my body. I also tend to be really physically sensitive, so I can feel like the hairs lifting up on my arm, right? Like I can feel these tiny little things happening. I can feel my digestion happening through much of it. I have this really, yeah. So it's very distracting a lot of times, especially when I first started with meditation, to try to sit in that place and be silent. But I'll say it again. It's not about being silent. It's not about being silent the first time into meditation, right? It's about the practice. It's about inviting our mind monkeys. It's about inviting the pirates on your pirate ship. It's about inviting all of those distractions to focus for a moment. It's like herding cats sometimes, right? It's like having a room full of toddlers and getting them all to look at you at the same time. Have you ever done that? Have you ever gone in a situation where you've got a room full of tiny children, right? Tiny humans who are completely unreasonable and relatively unmanageable with very little self-control. Sounds a lot like thoughts and feelings and things that happen within us, right? So imagine you have a room full of toddlers, room full of very small humans in there. And your focus, your practice, your task is to get them all to look at the same point at the same time. And that's what we're doing in meditation. So each time one of my thoughts happens, I say, oops, and I bring it back very gently. Hey, Paige, good morning. I bring them back gently, just like I would a child. Instead of yelling and screaming at myself, instead of bitching at myself about how I'm doing meditation wrong and all this, I messed up again, damn distracting mind, right? Instead, I go, oops, and I treat it like a child. I treat it like a tiny human, and I go, back, come here, we're paying attention. Look at this amazing thing. And what's interesting, if I cultivate that sense of wonder and curiosity the same way that you would approach a child to try to get them interested, right? You don't say, kid, look at that. And then you have their attention. That doesn't work usually. I mean, you might have their attention for a second, but you're not going to keep it very long, right? But it's different if we go, oh, look at this thing. I want to show you something really amazing. Can I share this with you? When you cultivate that feeling inside of yourself, and each time the thought takes you away, or the distraction, or the worry, the thought in the back of your head that goes, oh, did you remember? Don't forget, when you stop meditating, you've got to make that phone call to so and so. I know my mind is trying to make sure I don't forget the important things. I know my mind is not against me or battling me or trying to distract me. It's trying to keep me safe. And in some ways, reminding me about my to-do list keeps me safe. So I say, oh, thank you. Now look, come back, look again. We can easily say, thank you. I appreciate you for what you're doing. Thank you so much for reminding me to not forget to call that person. But right now, we are looking at this beautiful, magnificent, miraculous thing. Come, be amazed with me. Come. And that to me is the feeling of meditation. That's the feeling of meditation to me. Is when I find myself in that place of inner wonder at nothing in particular. That moment that you get caught in the sunset because it just takes you. That feeling as you stand beside the ocean and hear those waves, nay, feel those waves beneath you in the sand. And there's nothing else but you and the ocean in that moment. This is meditation. This is mindfulness. This is awareness of the present moment, fully and completely experiencing the present moment. But why? Why? Who cares? I mean, the present moment is great and fun, but like, is it really that important to spend time in the present moment? Who cares? Maybe it's more fun to spend time in my fantasy world of my future self, or maybe it's more fun to daydream about, what I was doing 6 years ago and now life is shit and whatever, right? We have all these excuses as to why we don't sit in the present moment, or even reasons or justifications for not spending time in the present moment. My life is hell. My life is suffering. Everything's shit. I don't want to spend time here. So I'm going to medicate myself. I'm going to distract myself. I'm going to do everything but look at my present moment situation, right? High hope. We can get stuck in that place. And when we are not in the present moment, when our awareness, when our consciousness is not in the present moment, we are handicapping ourselves. We're reducing the amount of response time, kind of like driving a vehicle, right? When you drink alcohol and drive a vehicle, the reason it's really bad to do is because your response time is way shortened or really fucked up, right? Like, depending on the degree to which you drank, you could find yourself with almost unable to control the car at all. You're driving unconsciously. When we allow the unconscious mind to operate our body and our speech, it's like letting the steering wheel drive the car. The steering wheel is a tool that we use, but we need the wisdom of the higher self in the present moment to see what's going on so that we can respond appropriately, so we can develop our ability to respond. When I am in a car and I'm paying attention to the present moment and everything going on around me, I can respond to avoid that accident, to avoid that person coming on the freeway way too fast and not paying attention. They don't know how to do the zipper thing. Damn it. Right? And that person who doesn't know how to do the zipper is going to run into my car if I'm not paying attention. And if they run into my car, we end up in a big accident and I'm pissed off and there's insurance to deal with and there's all this other stuff, right? We can liken that also to if I'm not in the present moment and I'm distracted off on something, especially something that maybe is tumultuous or worrying or whatnot, and my son, metaphorically, right, or literally, my son metaphorically merges onto the highway and he wants my attention. And he comes in and he puts his arms around me real fast and he comes running up to me. But my brain was somewhere else dealing with a possible future accident. And I was causing myself to experience that accident to a certain degree in my present moment. Often by thinking about the thing, we change our physiology, we change the way our heart moves, our breath moves, the way our body tenses, right? You know that feeling when you're thinking about the scary thing that might happen tomorrow and your body starts to contract because you're creating a physical reaction by worrying about what's happening tomorrow, by not being in the present moment. And when your kid or something totally small or innocent or not a big deal or whatnot comes into your lane and you don't have time to respond, it's probably not going to go the way that it might not always go well. Sometimes it's fine. But when we are in the present moment, or at least close enough to the present moment that we're not so far and unconscious, then I'm able to bring my attention back and to go, oh, hello, child. Yes, I was off thinking about something else. It's totally, and I don't have to bring the two things together. They don't bleed together because I can shift my awareness from that moment to this moment because I am still so close and so aware of this moment. And I have the capacity, I've developed the capacity to be responsible for my reactions or for my responses. And as a parent, that's imperative to me. As a person, that's imperative to me. As a friend to myself, it's imperative to me because I've done the years and years and years of letting the steering wheel drive the ship or car, whatever you want, whatever analogy you want to use. And typically I don't like where we end up. The body is, right, the ship, the vehicle, the brain, the steering wheel. But it's your higher self that has the compass, that has the map, that has the skill to navigate through life. And honestly, has a much better idea of where we're headed than the body and the brain do. The body and the brain know where we've been. The higher self knows where we're headed. So when we let the body and the brain drive, not only are you dragging all that junk in the trunk with you, but sometimes we're moving backwards. We're moving literally against the flow of life because the flow of life is forwards. The flow of life is a creation. The flow of life in this matrix reality thing has a direction and it is moving that way. It is not moving that way. It does not go that way, right? You break a wine glass, you can never put that shit back together. I mean, yeah, you can put it back together, but the universe just doesn't move in that direction in the way that we are. Hey, Dee. Thanks, babe. And so we find a way to align ourselves with the flow of life consciously, intentionally, so that we can be present with it and we can see the opportunities that come with it. We can see before the river bends instead of crashing into the riverbank, right? Or a big tree or a rock. Like we can see and we can navigate and we can make it through without being tossed against the rocks, without feeling victimized by life. Instead, being a willing participant, dancing with life rather than being accosted by it, right? Surrender to the flow. Yeah, but it's hard to find the flow. And honestly, it's going to be a lot. Yeah, I don't want to say you're not going to find the flow, but it's hard to find the flow when you're operating unconsciously. When you're letting the brain and the body drive because they're, busy being somewhere else, it's going to be harder to find the flow because you're not in the present moment. Yeah, you might be working on like, how do you find the flow tomorrow? Or how did I find the flow years ago? What was that time when I was in the flow before? That's not going to help you in the flow now, because where you were before could be miles away from where the flow is now, right? So we cultivate awareness, we practice mindfulness to bring us into the present moment, if for no other reason to simply say, where is the fucking river? Like, where's the river? Where is life? Am I even remotely close to the river? Can I hear the sound really far away? Right. So for those of you who are members of the Kaya Sangha, we are doing group coaching. I've got a little more than 15 minutes, so I remembered my timing. Yay! I'm going to send out the email. Look for the email with the Zoom link so that we can all get into the same Zoom room. Thank you guys all again for your patience as I sort out the issues with the background with the website. If you are not a member of Kaya Sangha and would like to enjoy twice weekly group coaching, practice sessions or Zoom practice sessions that build on what we do in Bhakti Bites Tiny Yoga, and access to all of the workshops that I'm doing, which will be about a workshop a month this year. There's going to be a lot of workshops that sell externally, but as a monthly member over at the Kaya Sangha, you get access to all of those as they come out, and they're at your own pace, so you get access to them as long as you're a member over there. So you can do all of the workshops your little heart desires, and there's a lot of them. So that said, Kaya Sangha group coaching is happening here in just a few minutes. And watch your email for the Zoom. If you'd like to join, you can join at Move with Change. There's a spot at the top that says join Kaya Sangha. If you would like a free month over at the Kaya Sangha so that you can just try it out and see what it's like, if you subscribe here on TikTok, you get a free month over there. So if you have any questions about doing that or about getting into that, you can also send me a message and I can send you the links directly to do all the things. Thanks, Tom. I hope you do too. I will have an amazing day. I'm looking forward to chatting with our community members, and it'll be nice to see some lovely faces again. And what's today? Today's Saturday. Okay, so for those of you who, again, subscribers on TikTok, we have 2 weekly subscriber only lives. We've got the Sunday night weekly peekly, which is our astrology forecast for the week, and I'm going to talk about each sign and give recommendations for each sign. Remember that if you are not a member, the Sunday one has a 6-minute preview. So you can get in and you can see what we're doing and kind of get a feel for what that looks like, the forecast for the week. And then you could subscribe while I'm live. You could subscribe now. You could subscribe later. You could subscribe whenever you feel like it. And you will get a free month over to Kaya Sangha. So tomorrow night from 6 to 8 p.m. I promise I will be moving it a little bit sooner during the day. I'm going to do some schedule changes, I think, come February. We're going to add another day of the week. Yeah, and stuff like that. So anyway, that's the next thing on the schedule. Kaya Sangha group coaching happening in 15 minutes. And the Astro Live weekly peekly happening tomorrow from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. Tanya, I was looking for you too. That's okay. What I was saying last night on the natal dive was that I would like to start looking at the transits that are happening for the week for those of you who are regularly showing up for the natal chart stuff, so that we can kind of dive deeper into your natal chart and see how your specific natal chart is going to be affected by the transits for the week. So that's exploration for all of us. And if you would like to engage in that, again, feel free to subscribe. That is how you get into those lives. If you have any questions, send me a message. You can always sign up for private coaching sessions with me, private energy work sessions. Is this yoga or business? Well, we had a meditation at the very beginning at 10 a.m. We go live for a meditation, and we usually do like a 15-20 minute little practice. Then we slip into some shenanigans, Dharma talk about some of the things that we're practicing. And then at the end, I usually give away my announcements and reminders and all the things. So it's just our flow. Welcome, AC Wild. But yeah. If you have any questions about any of that, if you want to work directly with me, you can sign up over at movewithchange.com, or you can just send me a message here on TikTok or on YouTube. Remember, if you missed any classes and you want to get the replay, it is also over at YouTube, on YouTube at Move with Change. Nadra, not a worry. If you go to YouTube at Move with Change, you will find the Bhakti Bites classes in a playlist. You will also find the Tiny Yoga classes in a playlist. You will also find little tidbits of other things. You will find our 40-day Kundalini Kriya practice in a playlist there as well. If you haven't followed me over on YouTube, please go do so. I'm trying to develop that channel to offer a little more on YouTube as well as we expand and grow into the most authentic version of our quirky, ridiculous selves, right? Okay, I've got to go. I've got to send an email. I've got to get into group coaching for my Kaya Sangha members. If you are a member at Kaya Sangha, I will see you shortly. If you're not a member and you are interested in joining the Kaya Sangha, then you can either send me a message, you can go to movewithchange.com and sign up, or you can subscribe here and you get a free month over to the Kaya Sangha. Oh, thank you, friend with no name. You're about to launch your YouTube. Also, awesome. Well, send me a message or send me like a subscribe thing and I'm happy to follow. I am a huge proponent of cross marketing. Cross marketing is really, really important. It's in my opinion, one of the biggest benefits that we're going to strengths that we're going to have as a collective moving forward in business is cross marketing and supporting each other, supporting people who are doing similar businesses, right? This is not about competition anymore. This is about gathering together and collectively supporting each other. So Nadra, please definitely reach out, definitely connect me. I would love to follow your channel as well. And if you go live, same. Okay, my friends, I love you so much. I will see my Kaya Sangha members in coaching here in about 10 minutes. I gotta hurry and send the email. Okay, I love you guys. And if you don't get the email, send me a message. If you're in the Kaya Sangha and you don't get the email, send me a message because it means that your email is not on a list that gets the email out. Okay, love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Let me close all the things.